Buenos días. Yo soy el señor Morris. ¿Cómo están ustedes? ¿Cómo te llamas? Ok. ¿Cuántos años tienes? Ok. ¿Dónde vives? Well, there were a lot of ways that you could answer that, aren't there? Today, we're going to review the cardinal directions. We're going to practice our directions a little bit more on that map, so you might want to have that handy. And then we're going to start to look at some different means of transportation, how you might get around. Pero, como siempre, vamos a cantar nuestra canción de saludos. Primero, canten conmigo. Hola, hola, buenos días, bienvenidos, ¿cómo están? Todos juntos ya estamos listos para aprender. Muy bien, we're muy listos para aprender today. Tell you what, let's go ahead and start with our review of the cardinal directions. By the way, in Spanish, these are called los puntos cardinales. So instead of directions, they're puntos, but they're still cardinales, which is very much like what we call them in English, the cardinal directions. And this thing that we look at to find them, los puntos cardinales, ¿cómo se dice en inglés? What's it called in English? Well, in English it's a compass. If you said compass, you're right. Pues en español se dice brújula. Una brújula. Repitan. And you see how you stress that first U. Brújula. Okay. Well, you don't have to know that for a test or anything. I just thought you might want to know that. Pues vamos a repasar los puntos cardinales. And what I've done today is I've taken the cardinal directions in Spanish and I've jumbled up the names. So let's see. You can use your notes if you need to, or you might even remember this. ¿Cuál es esta dirección? What do you call this one? Tell your teacher if you think you know. 1, 2, 3. Norte. Es norte. Did you get that? Try this one. Tees. That's right. That's what you're going to use if you're going golfing. But if you unscramble that, you'll get that direction in Spanish. Did everybody get it? 1, 2, 3. Este. Este. This one should be pretty easy for you. Urs. 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 Can you unscramble that? 1, 2, 3. Sur. Sur. Okay. There's one more here. Hitos. Hitos. Esto es. In español, esto es. Can you unscramble that? 1, 2, 3. Oeste. Oeste. Okay, muy bien. Hopefully those will be coming to you pretty easily now. We've looked at them a couple of times, so I hope you can get those, at least recognize them. Ahora, vamos a repasar otra vez con el mapa del pueblo. And this is the activity sheet that we used for lesson 4. Okay, last lesson we wrote the directions onto there, the cardinal directions. And we have them all written on there. Norte, sur, este, oeste. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to give you some directions, and I want to see if you can follow them. Oh, earthquake! I'm going to see if you can follow them. Okay, so everybody take out your map, because you can probably see that more clearly. Ahora, empieza en la tienda de abarrotes. So, empieza en la tienda de abarrotes. Find that, and you'll start there. Empieza en la tienda de abarrotes. Now, dobla hacia el oeste. Dobla hacia el oeste. Everybody get that? Next. Dobla hacia el norte en la calle Texas. Dobla hacia el norte en la calle Texas. Can you get to there? Now the question is, ¿qué servicio comunitario está al oeste? ¿Qué servicio comunitario está al oeste? Were you able to follow those directions? Do you think you got the answer? Well, I tell you what, let's go over it once more, and this time I'll go over it with you with my handy-dandy space flying machine here, and we'll see if we can find it. Now it starts off, empieza en la tienda de abarrotes. Here it says, tienda de abarrotes. So empieza en la tienda de abarrotes, and I'm going to put it in this direction so that I'm facing the street, right? And then it says, dobla hacia el oeste. Oeste está aquí. Dobla hacia el oeste. So I'm going to go out to the street, and there I am, hacia el oeste. And then it says, dobla hacia el norte en la calle Texas. Camino Washington, calle Texas. So I'm going to go up to calle Texas y dobla hacia el norte. Aquí está el norte. Dobla hacia el norte. And now the question is, ¿qué servicio comunitario está al oeste? Can you find oeste? Aquí está el oeste. So turn to el oeste. ¿Y qué servicio comunitario está hacia el oeste? Did you get el banco? Did you answer that question by saying el banco? I hope so. You can practice those in your classroom if you want. Now, I'm going to see if you can do something else. Last time when I talked to you, we talked about donde vives, and we talked about a new answer. We said, mi dirección es 123 Main, calle Main, right? We talked about your address. Well, now, I have another question for you that you can use your map to find the answer to. Okay? Let's look at the map here. The question is, ¿qué servicio comunitario está en, and here we go, Camino Washington, número 16? Well, let's look around here. Camino Washington, Camino Nuevo Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Alaska, Georgia, Florida, Idaho. Camino Washington, número 16. A ver, aquí está el número 20. Let me get a little bit closer here and if I can see this. Ajá. Aquí está el número 20, so we have to go down the block some more. Ah, Camino Washington, número 16. ¿Qué servicio comunitario está en Camino Washington, número 16? Es la biblioteca. La biblioteca. Okay, good. Did you guys figure that one out? You can continue to practice that in your classroom if you'd like to by using the map that you got in your student resource notebook or in the teacher's guide, or you can make your own maps to work with. It's good practice and it'll help you fill some time. Well, I tell you what, up to now, we've been navigating around town, letting our fingers do the walking, right? There are, however, other ways to get around. And let's look at some of those right now. Estos son algunos medios de transporte. Medios de transporte. So the first one here is autobús. Autobús. And can you see what this is? Yeah, it's what we call in English a bus. Pues en español es autobús. Okay? Go ahead and get that jotted down into your Spanish notebook, because you're going to need to know that later. Although it is pretty easy to recognize, isn't it? Autobús. Repitan todos. Autobús. and we stress this last syllable with the accent on it. Here's another way. Automóvil. And that's almost a direct cognate, isn't it? Automóvil. And again, we stress the accented syllable, automóvil. You can also call that an auto. Yeah, like a car. Go ahead and get that jotted down into your notebooks. Now, another way that things get around is en un camión. Camión. And you see, here's the accented syllable, camión. So get that written down. Can you tell what that is? What do we call that in English? What would we call that? How about a truck? Yeah, a truck. Es un camión. And there's one more way, and this might be how you guys get around some. Bicicleta. Es una bicicleta. Go ahead and get that written down in your notebooks. That one's pretty easy to recognize too, because it's pretty much of a cognate. So out of those 4 words that we looked at, only one of them is really different. Autobús, automóvil, bicicleta, and the only one that's kind of different is camión. Now these are all called medios de transporte. Okay, medios de transporte. Now, do any of those words look familiar to you? Transporte, yeah. Transport, transportation. Okay. Medios are means, ways of getting things done. Medios de transporte. So these are means of transportation, ways of getting around. Okay? So it's useful to use those cognates to try to figure things out. Ahora, pueden repasar otra vez con este video de los medios de transporte. Ahora, pongan atención y repitan todos. Medios de transporte. Autobús. Automóvil. Camión. Bicicleta. Pretty easy, huh? Muy bien. That is real easy, and you're going to find it really easy to do today's activity sheet. Ahora vamos a repasar con la hoja de actividades llamada medios de transporte. Looks like this. Here you go. Go ahead and start off by writing your name. Voy a escribir mi nombre, Roberto, y mi apellido. And mi apellido es Morris. Morris. So that's apellido. That's your last name. Apellido. So go ahead and escribe tu nombre y tu apellido. Okay. Now this is almost too easy. You guys are going to find this one really easy. It says look at the instructions, at the illustrations below. Okay, and those were the things that we just talked about. Write the name of the vehicle on the line below each illustration using the key. So down here we have our key that we can use. Okay. Well, I tell you what, this is so easy that maybe what you can do is have somebody cover up the answers for you and see if you can write them by yourself. For example, this first one here. What do we call this? Okay. Raise your hand if you think you know. Tell your teacher. Okay. Now listen to the word in Spanish. See if you can sound it out and write all of the letters. Automóvil. Automóvil. Starts off like this. Auto. Okay. And then it says móvil. Móvil. automóvil, this O is going to be accented because we pronounce it automóvil. Okay? Now, one thing about Spanish is it's pretty easy to spell it based on the way it sounds, because all of the sounds never change, not like in English where a vowel sound can have 3 or 4 different pronunciations. The letters always make the same sound, so if you can hear the word, you can spell it, and if you can see the word, you can pronounce it, even if you don't know what the word means. How about this one over here? What did we say this was? In English, it's called a truck. In Espanol, this was the only one that was really different. Camión. Ca. Ga. Mión. Camión. And now this O is going to be accented here. And there are some rules and ways of knowing which ones are going to be accented. And teachers, if you look in your learning partner guidelines, in your teacher's guide, you'll find some rules, some basic grammar and stuff for teachers that will help you understand a little bit about the orthography, about how it's written, about where the accents fall, and things like that. You might want to look through that and maybe share some with your class, some of that information, if you think they're ready for it. You're probably a real good judge of that. Okay? Muy bien. Next class, we'll learn some more specific ways of getting around and look at language in general terms. Okay, we're going to start talking about language in more general terms. Pero saben que ya es hora de despedirnos. For our goodbye song, today I'd like to sing a song called El Rancho Grande. El Rancho Grande. It's in your student resource notebooks. It's in the teacher's guide. It's a song about someone who lives on a big ranch with a little rancher woman who tells him that she's going to make him some pants out of wool and leather. Yeah. It's a pretty good song. And on part of this song you can go, ha-ha, if you want to. So everybody say, ha-ha. Okay. I'll let you know when. Allá en el rancho grande, allá donde vivía. Say it now. ¡Ajá! Había una rancherita que alegre me decía, que alegre me decía. Say it now. ¡Ajá! Te voy a hacer tus calzones como los que usa ranchero, te los comienzo de lana, te los acabo de cuero. That's a great song. It's a lot of fun. Don't forget the ahas. Don't forget to keep practicing your thing. Make up some questions that you can ask your fellow classmates. Maybe try playing some sort of Jeopardy. Yeah, where you write your own questions and then the teacher asks them and see who can answer. Until we meet each other again, adiós y hasta luego. ¡Ajá!